Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. I found a kit for 28 gauge for the Lee Loadall. It lets you obviously load 28 gauge on your Lee Loadall. I got it on eBay. The seller has a YouTube channel. It is 3D Reloading and More. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. You guys go check out his channel, and he has some really good instructions on there how to use these kits, as well as a lot of other stuff he has come up with for the Lee Loadall press. He has bottle conversions to make it like a mech press. He has gas pistons that replace the springs in here. It makes them silent to use. He has wad trimmers, hull trimmers, wad slitters, all kinds of stuff like that. Very interesting channel. He even has stuff for 8 gauge, I believe. He makes these in at least 410, 28, and 10 gauge. You know, the gauges that the Lee Loadall does not come in. He's working on a 24 gauge, these taper die and crimping piece. 24 gauge for me, just to see how that works, but hopefully that'll work great. So what we're doing here today is I'm taking you through the steps on how to use this thing, or at least the way I use it. It's probably the same way he uses it, but figured you 28 gauge guys out there might want to see this. Me and Josh are a big fan of 28 gauge, so this kit was an absolute must for me. It's a lot cheaper than buying a near $300 mech press, and you guys might have seen it in a previous video I did with the Remington 4x6 12 gauge shells. This thing puts out awesome, nearly factory style crimps, and it's only 32 bucks as of March 2023. So what comes in the kit? Well, let's start with what it doesn't come with. So you need, this is the only thing you need to buy separately from the kit, a mech resize ring. This is a 28 gauge, obviously, mech resize ring. I've been using this for over a year to resize my 28 gauge shells, and I've just been re-crimping them with a roll crimper. You know, I have a 28 gauge pre-crimp right here. I've been using that to pre-crimp with. It just slides right up on the final crimp tube of the 16 gauge or 20 gauge Lee Loadall. Fits either one of them perfectly. And then I've been pushing the crimp in with a roll crimper and a little mallet, or I just roll crimp it in. And it works, but it makes the shells a little, look kind of weird. They look flat on top instead of like this. So this kit was an absolute must for me anyway. So what does it come with? Well, we have this piece right here. Not sure what to call it, but it slides into the resize ring, and that's what lets you be able to resize your hulls. I'll show you in just a minute. That is a very handy piece to have, because using this press without this piece is annoying. The shell can turn sideways. It'll rock sideways on you, back or forth. That's not so great for resizing. This makes it a lot easier. This piece right here, you set right here. It actually locks into it. Try to show this here. You guys can see it. It has a little ridge that actually sits in this recess. That's for knocking the shell back off of the resize ring with the, sorry, wrong one, depriming punch. And then you set a primer in here, or just stick it up inside your shell a little bit, as far as it'll go anyway. And then use your repriming punch to reprime it. This all works by, you just balance it against the pre-crimp tube right here. That's all it is. Really, really simple. It has a pre-crimp station, or pre-crimp piece, I should say. And it does work. This actually works really well. I like it better than the mech pre-crimper. But this, like I said, just attaches to the tube right here. So it's a lot easier just to be able to go back here and pre-crimp your shell, instead of having to, you know, like I said, line this up on here. That's just a lot easier. But this does work, and I do like it better than the mech. This piece right here is your final crimp tube and your taper die. You'll see how it works in just a moment, of course. And this piece right here is what actually pushes your crimp in. And that does work really well. Then after you push your crimp in, you'll see again. Run that down one more time, and that actually tapers your shell. The kit also comes with bushings. How handy is that? We have a 90. I believe the smallest that the Leolol comes with is a 105 bushing. This one's a 90, and this one is an 85, making it a lot better for throwing small charges of powders like long shot or possibly little gun. I haven't tried these out yet, but I'm sure they work great. This right here is a 5/8 ounce, hold on, 5/8 ounce shot dropper. Not dropper, it's a shot bushing, but it also comes with a 3/4 ounce one. It's right here. You see the different color. 3/4 ounce. I have it in my 10 gauge Leolol kit that I converted from a 12. But yeah, that drops a 3/4 ounce charge of lead shot. I'm using 7.5 shot. But it works, and it works great. The smallest the Leolol comes with factory is a 7/8 ounce bushing, which also will work with 28 gauge. But 3/4 ounce is the standard load. And before anyone asks, no, I cannot link you to the seller's eBay, but I can link you to his YouTube channel, which is again down in the description. This kit will do all 3 lengths of a 28 gauge, your 2.5 inch, 2 3/4, and 3 inch shells. It will also do brand new primed hulls, not just once fired for reloading. It will also do your hand loads, which is awesome. Alright, so let's get started here. We need our mech resize ring, slide it over your hull. We need what I'm going to call the resize ring extension. Slide that over your hull and onto your ring. Bring it over here to the de-priming resizing station and resize as normal. Yep. Now, you'll notice this will not de-prime it. Pull the extension off. We need this piece right here. Drop it right here on the front station pre-crimp tube. In the little recess for it, you need your de-priming punch. This will de-prime the hull and knock the ring off. Set it on there. Use the tube to, hold on, apply pressure. We now have the primer out. I didn't pull it down far enough to knock the, ring off. Let's do that again. Should have got it, and it did. Ring is now off. Pretty simple to do. Here's the primer. Go ahead and drop that where it needs to go inside your press. My door's off. There we go. Don't need that anymore. Actually, you do need that. My mistake. We need a Shadot primer. This one's actually a Euro size Shadot primer. You'll note the, hold on, the gold colored instead of a copper colored battery cup, I think these are called. But I pulled this out of a 32 gauge shell that I had to cut open because I had these slugs in it, and I forgot if I used green dot or little gun in these holes right here, so I just cut one open to find out. But this is the primer from it, and it is a Euro size primer going in this Euro size hull. So that's as far as I can push it in by hand. These pockets seem a little loose after a once fired. Weird, but okay. Put that back where it was before. Now we need the re-priming punch. Set it in there. And we have our hull re-primed. I'm just doing a standard 3/4 ounce load here, but you guys can put whatever load you guys like in here. Just doing a regular 3/4 ounce. So we need 14 grains of long shot. There's 14 grains. Let's double check it as always. Yep, 14 grains. Ooh, almost lost it. Where's my lid? There it is. I'm using the Winchester, or Claybuster clone of the Winchester, WAA 28 wad. Nope, this does not fit the hull. So, we're taking a pair, if I can find them, of needle nose pliers, right here. You guys see how prepared I was? Needle nose pliers, pinching out the gas seal of the wad just a little bit. You guys have seen me do this 10,000 times by now. Very easy to do, only takes a second, and that will seal the wad to the hull. Way better than if you didn't do that. I'm using Gary Caskey's wad tamper, or wad nudger, to push the wad down inside the hull because my fingers are too fat to fit down inside this little thing. So if you guys want one of these, facebook.com/gary.d.caskey. He has these wad slitters, wad trimmers, hull trimmers, all kinds of stuff like that. Lots of reloading tools. Gary is the man to go to for this stuff right here. I'm using this high antimony 7.5 shot. Really good stuff. And again, 3/4 ounce. I'll show you how I do my 1 ounce loads in just a moment. And on top of that 3/4 ounce load, I'm using one thin slice of 28 gauge nitro card. They come in sections of 3. I just tore one off and placing that right on top because these have quite a bit of internal capacity, being a straight wall 28 gauge shell versus the AAHS's lesser capacity. Once you have the nitro card in place, you need to use the pre-crimp piece right here. Set it right on top, wiggle it around to get a feel for it, and once you see it start to go, set it right on top, and then bring it over here. Give it a pre-crimp. Coming along just fine, a little bit more. And there we have it. Looks pretty good to me. Now, this right here is the final crimp tube and your taper die. Set it in there, right like that. Over here again. Now, you want to run this down until you see the hole just about closed. Crimp just about closed, I meant. Once you see that, grab your crimp piece right on top. Just pull it down. Looking really good. A little bit more. Oh yeah, that's got it. Now, that is a really nice looking crimp, but you'll notice it's belled out just a little bit. Hopefully, you can see it. You'll notice it's stiff going in. Alright, now, as I mentioned earlier, this is also your taper die. Just write it down one more time. No more belled out. Really, really nice looking crimp. Almost factory, I want to say. Pretty impressed by it. And it goes in and out of the taper die really easy. So there's your standard 3/4 ounce load. You can also do 5/8, ½ ounce, 1 ounce, 7/8 ounce, whatever you want. So how about a 1 ounce load? Well, we're getting ready to do one. The 28 gauge group on Facebook, the people there are very back and forth on whether 1 ounce 28 gauge loads are a good thing or the worst thing to ever exist. I am in the camp of they're great. They're better for pheasants and larger birds and stuff like doves and quail, but I know 1 ounce loads aren't for everybody. Factory 1 ounce loads, some of them don't use the proper wad. They will only use a wad meant for not even a 3/4 ounce load. They'll use a little short, what are they called, SG28 wads that only hold like a ½ ounce of lead, and the rest of it's like, you know, conventional loaded. And not everybody likes to run a full choke, and that in combination with the short wad does not lead to great patterns. But if you use a wad like the HV28 Magnum wad, it holds 7/8 ounce of lead, then we're talking. That's when the 1 ounce load patterns really well. You use a Mylar wrap inside of it. This is the HV28 Magnum wad. Holds 7/8 ounce of lead, flush with the top of the shot cup, or 1 ounce load with just a little bit of overhang of the shot. Now, like I said, Mylar wrap in here, that's going to get you great patterns with the 1 ounce load. I've already got this hull deprimed and resized, but just for the sake of it, let's run through it all again. I'm not going to use a primer this time, just in case you guys didn't get the first time. So, sizing ring extension, bring it over here, resize it. And again, that was already resized. Need this piece right here. Set it right there. Depriming punch, even though there's no primer in it. Again, that knocks the ring off the hull and deprimes your shell if you have a spent primer in it. Or a live primer, I guess, but it'd be weird. Another one of them Shadot primers from a 32 gauge hull. I think this is actually the CX1000. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that also will just barely not go in by hand. So we need our repriming punch right here. Drop that in there. that piece go? I don't know why I took it out, but this piece right here again. Set it underneath the front pre-crimp station and seat your primer. So for a 1 ounce load, long shot is a little bit too fast burning for the 28 gauge 1 ounce load. So I'm using 23 grains of Hodgdon Little Gun. Works great for 28 gauge heavy loads. The HV 28 watt does not need flared out or anything because it is for straight wall hauls. Set it in there. Grab a Gary's wad tamper again. Once you got your wad in place, a Mylar wrap. This is the My Slim Mylar from Ballistic Products. Roll it up nice and tight. You want it looking something like that. Nice and tight. Set it down inside your wad and push it down in place. You will not be able to see this, but we have a Mylar wrap in there. 437 grains of any size lead shot you want. 437 grains is an ounce. Technically 437 and a half, but 437 is close enough. 1 ounce of 7.5 shot comes up right to where it needs to be for a good crimp. This time we're going to use the Mech 28 gauge crimp starter just because it's on here. Looks just like that. We need our taper die slash bottle crimp tube. A little bit more. There we go. Should look like this. And the crimp piece right here. Factory 1 ounce 28 gauge loads are so expensive, and you can load them really easy and pretty cheaply. 250 wads is only 10 bucks. Here's how it looks without tapering it. Looks great. And let's put a taper on that. Beautiful. Just like a factory crimp. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, well, I have a 10 gauge version coming soon, so we'll do a video on that and a 24 gauge version. I did also ask for the 32 gauge pieces to be able to crimp 32 gauge on this thing too, so hopefully I'll get those too, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And to James, if you're watching this, the guy that actually makes these kits, you've got a very good thing going here. It works awesome, way better than I ever hoped it would, and I'm really happy with it. Well guys, I think that's going to do it for me. If you like this video, then please give us a thumbs up. If you got any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section down below. We will get back to you. If you want to, go check out our Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month, and every penny we get goes right back into the channel. A link to that will be in the description below, as well as our Instagram. It's at The Shotgun Scientist. We just post some cool behind-the-scenes previews, stuff like that on there. And our Rumble. We post stuff on Rumble that we can't post here on YouTube, so go check all those out. Again, they'll be in the description below. You guys take it easy. We will see you in the next one.